This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, now unfortunately we're going to be taking a look at some of the Middara stuff that I painted, but as you see I have a new camera now, but this actually video is coming from before I got that camera, and what happened was I lost a lot of the data. The camera just fritzed on me and I had painted all this stuff and taped everything. So what I was able to do out of the footage I was able to save, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through everything so you understand what you're seeing, and we'll be able to continue on with our Middara painting eventually. And unfortunately I lost a lot of footage, but I can walk you through the figures that you're going to see, and you'll have an idea at least how to paint them and how they turned out, from the adventurers to a couple of the enemies that we had done. We still have other videos out there that we're gonna reshoot and redo because I had painted one for the video, but the other ones did not get painted because, well, basically you only need one for a video. So fortunately we can redo that and do it now in 4K and on the brand new camera. So without further ado, let's go down and take a look at this video, and I'll walk you through how to paint some of the figures from Middara. Here we go. Alright, as you can see right here, we are painting one of the figures from Middara. It's actually, oh god, I forgot, it's coming up, but the creature here is, there's two of them that come in the box. They're like an undead thing, and they have plants growing out of them and some kind of hands. But all I'm doing is I'm taking a pallid witch flesh here, and matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. Oh no, Rakith flesh. See, I got to do a little bit better in remembering how this turned out. And all I wanted to do was get that coverage. Now I had spray paint that white so that flesh would go on a lot easier. And you can see where it's going on there, and it just works for what we need it to do. We're going to let that dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our next figure. Now our next figure are the soul blades. And what I did is I spray painted those black. And you can see I'm just taking some lead belcher. I took a lot of it off my brush, and I'm using a thicker brush because I want to leave a little bit of that primer underneath. I want to keep that kind of nice and dark, and I want to get that silver, and I don't mind painting that metallic all over it because we're going to put other layers on it eventually. And you can see I'm just touching it up and getting a good part of it all over me, of course. There's two of them, so again, just nice and easy. And you're not taking that brush and you're not pushing very hard onto the sword itself. You're just taking, and just very lightly, and you don't want to get too much of it on there. And if you clean off your brush, you got to be careful because the brush becomes wet and then you lose that effect of dry brushing. So that's something you really want to be careful with. Now right here we're talking about, yes, the animate. And the animate, you know, you look at the beautiful art that they have and you want to try to represent it as much as you can. But again, we're taking lead belcher because all an animate is parts of different armor that have come to life. So look how light I'm using that. Look how nice and light. I'm not using it very heavy. I'm just taking, I wiped off some of that off my brush, and I'm just touching it ever so lightly. And you know something, you could just do this technique and say, okay, done, because maybe that's what you envision. But for me, I wanted to bring it a little more to life. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to leave some of that dark primer so it fits into the recesses there. I think that's a key component right there, is by just getting that into the recesses, you know, just getting your lead belcher on top of the recesses and just letting that sit up a little bit. And I'm just hitting everything with it. And you can see it's got that nice metallic feel to it. If the camera focuses, of course. Oh, there we go. That's why we had to get new cameras, right? There you go. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to figure that out as I'm just talking and talking. But I'm talking basically on how I'm working on all 4 of these at once. And that's exactly what I want to do there. And now I am just taking some wash. Matter of fact, what I decided to do here is I actually took some Newell oil, and I thought that would be a way to go with it. And I'm just putting it all over this figure here. And you can see how it sits in there? And that's exactly what I was looking for. Is again, it's another situation where you put on your light color and then you darken things down and then bring things back up. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here and how we're trying to accomplish that. And there we go. Exactly what we're looking for. Just getting that into the recesses on that figure and really making sure and moving that wash. By moving that wash, it makes a big difference. So there we go. And I'm just, again, moving it around, and just really doing some fantastic things there. Perfect. And I'm actually talking about it, and exactly what I was doing. Now, the next thing I did is I took some Retribution armor, and this is where we lost some of the footage, and I painted the handle, as you can see. I wanted to get the handle and part of that sword, so we got a little depth in there. So by putting that in there, and just, we're constantly moving. There's no wasted motion. When I sit and I paint, I take a bunch of figures and I have a game plan in my head, and how it's all going to unfold is I don't waste motion. I don't wait for, 10 minutes for something to dry. I'm constantly working on something when I'm not talking to the camera. Now here I took some Ushabi bone for the cloth that goes around the soul blade, and we painted that on there. And as you can see, I just wanted to get that on there because, again, we're going to throw a wash over that, and we're going to deepen that up. And I know we lost that footage as well, but again, okay, here we are with some Evil Sun Scarlet. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to paint the eyes, because if we saw on the anime, and if you have your cards and take a look at the art, there are some red eyes, and we made sure that we painted a little skull white into certain areas. And on this particular figure, he has some growths on him that I'm going to start as with an Evil Sun Scarlet, and then I'm going to dull that down and bring that back up. But we're also going to use Evil Sun Scarlet on those other figures as there. This is what I talk about, not having wasted motion. Being able to take everything. While those are going to be drying, I'm going to continuously go all the way through. Now you see, I've already done this particular figure here. And of course, again, this is why we got a new camera, is because we lose focus a lot and we lose footage, but that's okay. Now we come into this again. Here we go. We're going to take some Agrath Earthshade, and this is where I'm going to work it all over that. Now you remember, we already put a layer of Newell oil on there, but now I'm putting this all over the entire miniature. Not only do I have that darkness, but now I want to bring that kind of brownish, gooky, kind of whatever this thing is. I don't know what it's made of, but the artist had something in their mind and they went with it, and we did too. So again, we're just taking that and we're moving it around and really getting what we really want. And that's, there we go. And just moving it around. The whole point is not letting it pool up. And even if it pools up, it doesn't matter. We can work our way out of it. But try to save yourself a little time there. And I'm sorry for the non-focus thing. Again, not wasted motion. What do? I guess I've already done those. And what we've done is we've taken that Agrath Earthshade and we worked it all into that area there. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want perpetual motion. We want to be able to connect colors with other things. Now here we're taking a pallid witch flesh, and I'm talking about it. And we're going to be working on a couple other figures. It was a perfect time, as you can see. I mean, look at that. All their skin and everything. Now, if you look at their feet, that was also a evil red scarlet. And I'm going to have them pull that up. And that sword there, we use a lead belcher. So I've already done those parts, as you can see. And then here we go. What is very difficult is because of the different sections, you really want to double layer. And you can see I'm really taking my time with this, so I don't have to go back over with the black. So get yourself a really reliable paintbrush. And as you can see, I have both my elbows down, even though I have a broken thumb right there. And we are just taking my time. I think I'm using a 3.0 or 10.0 brush. And like I'm saying, I'm just taking my time and getting that. And even if I miss a little bit, it's okay. I can fix it. So we're just trying to get all the flesh, and we want to bring those creatures out. And that's what we're trying to do right there. And you're going to see how this will evolve, because I do have a couple of these that we're going to reshoot. And I think you're really going to like what you see. So there you go. And just making sure that we hit everything, and I try to do both figures again. Make sure that we get them done. Now, here we are, the adventurers themselves. Okay, so what did we do here? I used a snot green for his pants, a lead belcher for his hammers, a Keslev flesh for his chest, a black for his beard and his hair. As you can see, I completely covered this figure in Keslev flesh. And the reason for that is because of the detail that I'm going to have to paint into that area. And then here again, we used a forest green for the pants, a beastal brown for the jacket, and I used a corn red for his shirt, and of course a Keslev flesh. And for our girl here, corn red for the dress. I'm showing you here, I spray painted this white, but I took new oil and ran it across her wings on one set of wings, just to see how it works and if I can get enough in there. For her blade, I used a lead belcher. So now, you know, I'm starting to build out. And this is another thing where we're taking these figures and we're combining colors. If we have one color, we're going to constantly use it. Now, this is a Gene Stealer purple that I used for her hair, and then a moot green for the other part of her hair. And I just can't get it to focus there. And I'm just putting a couple layers of that on, trying to work that in there. And we're trying to work this figure up. Okay? What we're doing is just getting the base colors here. And that's what's important, is just getting the base, and then we'll add shade, we'll add highlights, and bring these wonderful creatures to life. I mean, these are just some wonderful sculpts and a lot of fun to play around with. Right here, okay, we're going to take, I think it's Rhea. Oh God, I forgot the names already. But as you see, we got the little kitten down there, or kitten creature. And very anime, the art's very lively, and you want to make sure that you're constantly, you see the horns there, I used an Incubus blue for that. And then my man there, if we can get him in the camera, there we go. We also used the Gene Stealer purple for his necklace. And you can see where they're coming together. I also took some Retribution armor and worked it in there. And you can see where we're working on this. And slowly you can see now I'm going to take the new oil, and you can see what that does. And this is what I'm talking about. And you want to get that on in there in order to lighten out. So you take your new oil and you work it in on these figures, and then you work it out, because that's really going to dull those wings down. And whoa, good thing there was nothing in that bottle, huh? That was a close one. There's just very little in there. See, I was panicking. That's the problem with Games Workshop things. They open, but they somehow open. Now, next to those, to the right of those figures, you could see some of the other things that we were working on, some of the other creatures, and we already have those based with grass and everything like that. And we're just coming along. We're just doing things and really following along here. You see how that's sitting in those recesses? Do you see how that wash just sits there? And when that dries, that's going to give us such a nice look. And then we can build out and not take the paint out of the recesses, but what we want to do is basically just get ourselves so we can work that all the way out. And that's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we'll throw a little there too. Why not, right? So you see how that's sitting in those recesses and really brings those feathers to life. We've got to let that dry. Now, I've already done the bases a little bit, and we've done some of the things on this right here, and you could see exactly what, oh, let's see if I can get that. And that is dried a bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to start working those out. But the best thing about it is we haven't done that yet. So you're going to see that on the different camera, our brand new camera. We're just showing you what we did for base coats there. And we're going to build out from there because we want to get those based. And you can see where we used the Yagarath Earth shade to really bring her. You could see the expression on her face. You could see how the flesh came alive. And of course the big boy here. You can actually see his muscle structure, and that's the point of using a really good wash and moving that wash properly. And then of course we didn't get him in the camera, did we? Yes, there he is. So as you can see, there we go, we just moved it down a little bit, and we got our base coats on there, and we're going to build out. We're going to build outwards, and that's where we're going to really hit that home. And you could start to see where we were going with all this and some of the other figures. Now, I did that all in a couple hours, and that's by just doing what I do, and that's work your way all the way through. So really nice stuff, really fun stuff to paint. And in the next video that we put out, we're going to show you how to highlight. So let's send it up top, and let's get some of my final thoughts on this. Well, there you have it. That's how you paint some of those. I'm sorry for the footage and how bad it was and everything like that, but we really lost a lot of footage. But at least I was able to walk you through some of the things and show you how to get this done. We've got plenty coming up. We've got plenty of figures. We still got probably another 30 figures to go, especially with the expansion with it. So I hope you'll join us in the future as we do that. And we've got plenty of painting videos coming up, so stay tuned here on Rob's Tabletop World. Until next time, I'm your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.